Producers need to keep in mind that stories that make for good docudramas involve real people with real needs. When that concept is forgotten, a major ethical line has been crossed. Rod Carveth. On August 5, 2010, 33 Chilean miners were trapped after a gold and copper mine caved in. It was questionable whether any of them would survive the ordeal, but on October 13th, all of the men were rescued. They became national heroes.
¡Viva Chile, mierda! ¡Viva! Puro Chile!
2 days after the rescue, a New York Times article revealed that while the miners were still trapped underground, a movie about their story had already been proposed. It is an unfortunate but common trend in Hollywood to take a tragic piece of history and turn it into a blockbuster docudrama. As Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines it, a docudrama is a drama dealing freely with historical events, especially of a recent and controversial nature. While Hollywood produces movies like Schindler's List, Titanic, and Pearl Harbor, they are simultaneously promoting fictionalized and to some extent romanticized accounts of traumatic and tragic events as historically accurate. Furthermore, while these films document events that occurred decades ago, more recent films like United 93 and World Trade Center have people asking, how soon is too soon? To what extent is Hollywood obligated to respect the reality of what happened? When displaying true events, is it Hollywood's responsibility to preserve historical accuracy? And finally, if a Hollywood director secures the film rights of the Chilean miners, will the film depict the complete truth? Will 33 stories be told? While September 11th and the Chilean miners' stories are different in many ways, they were both events that caused pain, suffering, and trauma. When films like United 93 and World Trade Center were released 5 years after September 11th, controversy arose on whether or not it was Hollywood's place to tell this story. How do we know if it is too soon to make a movie about the Chilean miners? In the case of United 93, New York film critic Robert Edelstein argued that it is never too soon for an artist to grapple with a national trauma and its repercussions in the collective psyche. Jason Dahl, the brother of United 93's pilot, told ABC News that he did not attend the premiere of the film because the memories were too raw.
It's just, I can't do it. It's just too hard. I don't want to relive it right now.
2 aircraft hit the World Trade Center. Just left north, the weather was beautiful.
We have a plane headed toward the Capitol.
Are these the exact events that occurred that fateful morning?
Okay, listen up. We got to evacuate the tower. Who's coming? Step forward.
Did Nicolas Cage risk his life, or did truly brave men pass away tragically? Before making a film based on a traumatic event, filmmakers must consider the emotions of others that were negatively affected by the event and be compassionate. Therefore, it should not be a Chilean miner movie, at least not yet. When Hollywood decides to make films out of true events, to what extent are they obligated to respect the reality of what happened? In other words, when displaying true events, is it Hollywood's responsibility to preserve historical accuracy? Former Vice President of Policy and Standards at Capital City/ABC, Alfred Schneider, wrote the following guidelines on invention in docudramas. He said, "Creating composite characters out of 2 or more actual persons is permissible, but the construction of fictitious characters is not. The chronology of events should be accurate and the passage of time made clear through use of dialogue, dissolves, etc. Characters' personal traits should be consistent with those of the actual principles of the story. Created dialogue, when used, should be consistent with those of the actual principles." Although Schneider provides standards for directors to follow, shouldn't there be more? Shouldn't filmmakers have some level of sensitivity and empathy when dealing with these types of events? In the 5th edition of Media Ethics, Issues and Cases, Janet Walker said that it is necessary to model effectively the memory of traumatic experiences by drawing on innovative strategies for representing reality obliquely, by looking to mental processes for inspiration, and by incorporating self-reflexive devices to call attention on the friability of the scaffolding for audiovisual historiography. In the past, docudrama makers have depended on truthiness when working on their projects. Cicella Bach said truthiness is the quality of preferring concepts or facts one wishes to be true, rather than concepts or facts known to be true. Docudrama directors should practice truthfulness, which requires that we do our best to convey what we believe to be the truth. In deciding whether or not to Hollywoodize a traumatic event, filmmakers should also consider the second formulation of the categorical imperative. It is important to treat humanity never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. This means that the real-life versions of the characters should not be treated instrumentally. If a Hollywood director secures the film rights to the Chilean miner story, will the film depict the complete truth? Will 33 stories be told? According to an article by the Huffington Post, Brad Pitt is currently working on securing the film rights to the story of the 33 Chilean miners. Plan B, his production company, is negotiating with the miners' reps to see if it is okay to continue with the project. Based on information gathered regarding past Hollywood films, it is safe to generalize that a film about the Chilean miners will be incomplete and will adapt to the norms and ideals of Hollywood films. That is, love, conflict, happy ending, and attractive celebrities. These are the faces of movie actors who possibly may play a miner in a film. These are not the miners. Remember that.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming.